So Richard, it's your third season with us. How has fame come into your life for the past 2 seasons?
Well, you know, I'm walking down the street and people say, hey, you're the IELTS face-off guy. And I'm like, well, yeah, you know, it's a new thing for me.
Yeah, we have a couple of tips today, but we do have some questions actually for the audience. Audience, are you guys ready for some questions? So writing essays about graphs, charts, and diagrams must start with an overview. Is this true or false?
I think it's wrong, and I think we have to start with paraphrasing the question first. Yeah, this is my opinion.
All right, thank you. Richard, what do
Yeah.
you think? What are some of your writing tips?
Well, if we're talking about writing task 1, then I think our friend over there might be onto something. So let's say the first part should normally be a paraphrase of the question. And that gives you an opportunity to show the range of, well, in fact, not just your vocabulary, but also a little grammar as well, as you find synonyms to rephrase that original question. Now, the next 2 parts should be the overview, where you summarize the main idea of the information that's provided. And then the third part ought to be, you know, a discussion about the details, or, you know, the finer points of the information that's provided. Now, whether the overview should come in the middle or the end is something of a question. I think that for most of us, it's probably a good idea to put it after that introductory paraphrase. I have some colleagues who would argue that it's more logically coming at the end of the writing, but I think you have to be very, very confident about both your English and your timing to do it that way. So yeah, my advice generally for most of us is the paraphrase, the overview, and then continue with details for writing task 1.
So obviously a lot of people know of you as a very tough and strict examiner, and you know,
Where do people
now
get that?
here on IELTS Face Off, we would like to turn the tables. We'd like to give the people the opportunity to pay back. So now it's time for you to be grilled, our audiences. So would any of you guys like to give him some challenges? Maybe chuck a few questions at him about the IELTS test or anything English related at all? Do I see some hands over there?
Ooh, we see quite a number of hands. I love this.
Hello, my name is Hai. My question is, can we use the phrasal verbs in writing task 2? And if yes, what are the phrasal verbs that we can use?
Okay, well, the first thing I should say is that phrasal verbs are more frequently a feature of informal English, and so that makes them less appropriate for writing task 2, where you want to use a more formal register and a more academic style of language. So that is a reason perhaps to stay away from phrasal verbs there. As for your question, which ones should I use? That's almost impossible to answer really, because I mean, you know, the kind of language that you use in response to a given question depends entirely on the question, upon the topic of the question and upon what the question is asking you to do. Yeah, hope that answers your question.
What a solid answer. Any other questions you guys would like to give him?
Yeah, we have another question at the back.
Right there.
Hello everyone, my name is Nhung. I have a question for you. To get band 7 in speaking skills, is it important to use advanced vocabulary?
Thanks for the question, Nhung. It depends a little bit on your definition of advanced, I guess. At one level, band 7 answer is something approaching a C1 level of English, according to the CEFR scale. The short answer is yes. But that doesn't necessarily mean using big words or academic words in your speaking answer. It's just using sufficient range to be able to give an answer that is precise and full.
We have a couple of hands over there. Any other hands?
My name is Tik, and today I have a question. As we probably know, in our writing task, we have many factors to evaluate or assess the score of candidates, like grammar, lexical, or the logic of ideas. So if we have one one factor to focus on, what would it be?
Again, it's a difficult question to answer because you really can't focus on one because you need to answer 4 different descriptors. If I was to say to you, you know, what do I need to make a cake? Should I focus on the sugar or the flour or the eggs? I'd have to say, sorry, but you really need to use all 3.
Do you want me to have time for one more question?
We have a lot of time, and we have quite a number of questions that are coming in from online.
Oh,
so
right.
participants and viewers are asking us live questions. I have a couple here. I'm just going to pick out a few. The question is, I really want to increase my listening skill. Right now, I'm at a band 5, and it seems like I cannot increase my listening score.
It's kind of difficult to answer this without knowing the person that we're talking to here. I can just give some very general advice on how people do improve their listening skill. And that is, first, if you're the kind of person that limits yourself to only practicing on IELTS practice test materials, then stop. You should probably be using more of a range of listening materials. It's important for you to listen to and read things that interest you. Consider also that you could be listening to things that are graded to begin with, but you can go to BBC Learning English and find something that is appropriate for your level. The other thing that can be useful is just some ideas. You need to break big listening tasks and reading tasks down into little listening tasks.
If you're still looking for tips, you can still definitely check out all of our social media channels to find tips, especially on Instagram, on Facebook, even on YouTube. We will continue to give you those tips even after the season is over. We have a couple more, actually. Quite a number of people sent in their questions. Jen Jiang with a hand asks, how do we calm the nerves before the exam?
Ooh.
Many of the people I meet who are preparing to do an IELTS exam are nervous about the part of English that they're not very good with, and they forget about the much bigger part of English that they are very good with. And so if I can remind you that if you're considering doing an IELTS exam, then clearly you have already come a very long way in English. It's possible that you are an excellent user of English, so don't beat yourself up. I know that's kind of easy to say, but nerves are your enemy in this, and if you can do anything to make yourself feel more confident going in, then please try.
This is fantastic. Thank you so much, Richard, for coming by to speak to us, to speak to our audience. Have a blessed
Pleasure.
New Year and Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
To you and
too.
your family.
Thanks so much. It's great to be here. Thank you.
Awesome.